really fun game that makes
a fun game that makes
Right.
What did you guys make CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in crypto.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around $15,000.
He is fleecing his fans, people. He is fleecing his fans. And there's no other motive to it besides what makes the world go round. Okay? You know what? Just abolish capitalism, y'all. And while we're at it, maybe abolish the Republican Party. But let's get on track.
I lost $25,000.
$1,000 Australian, $500,000.
Shut up! No, you haven't.
Yeah, 500K.
Jesus Christ.
Logan Paul's blockchain game is $1 billion. Some of you guys know the I've uncovered most of the past billion fake orphans. I mentioned fake orphans, and of course, at the center of everything was
Wait, George Santos? Oh no, I must be thinking of somebody else. Yeah. If George Santos actually lied about, his childhood, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But just in a hypothetical scenario. Anyway, continue.
thousands of fake orphans in his wake. Thousands of victims in his wake. Now, you'll be hearing from some of those people because their stories are heartbreaking. This is the first in a 3-part series that's been a year in the making. And if you like high-effort investigations like this one, please consider supporting this channel on Patreon. I don't take sponsors.
And they legitimately are investigations. Like, the Internet Detective really does put so much effort into his work to the point where he is not only significantly more effective than some of our own law enforcement agencies here in the States, but he is a legitimate investigator.
We are viewer supported, so if you want to and are able to, thank you. Either way, enjoy the video.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. We have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million just because we believe.
Oh, you're gonna remake that, buddy, fleecing people. You're absolutely gonna remake that. Trust me.
September 1st, CryptoZoo.co.
We don't scam. I've never scammed anyone before. Logan cares
I believe you.
extremely deeply about his audience, loves his brand, doesn't have to scam to make money.
Welcome to part 1, the $1 million mystery that began this whole story. Like many people, I first heard about CryptoZoo from a podcast Logan runs called Impulsive, which was the experience of a lot of people that I spoke to.
So I first heard about it on the Logan Paul podcast.
Impulsive, I think. It was off one of the Impulsive episodes.
The thing that I'm most
Because when it comes to podcasts, I mean, if you're working at like your salaried or wage job, you listen to podcasts typically, if your bosses let you do that. And if you're doing chores around the house, maybe you listen to podcasts. And it's so obvious to where the base for this project came from. Because, like, he definitely has an audience, and they have a strong parasocial connection to him, and he wants to fleece them, plain and simple.
It's the first time I've ever said anything about this. For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. I think there needs to be a fresh take, and this project that I have is that fresh take.
Now look, at first, I was just as surprised at this pitch as anyone else because I just got finished roasting Logan for a different coin called Dinkdoink, which is fans lost money.
Yeah, he's done this before. This is pretty much nothing new from Logan Paul.
Man, it's the dumbest I've ever seen. That's why I'm all in.
Wait. Earlier, he literally just said he doesn't have to scam, but now he's actively acknowledging his first crypto rug pull, which he says is a scam, but he also says he doesn't have to scam to get money. Which one is it, Logan?
It's comedic. It's funny. It's comedy.
Now look, I know Logan.
Oh yeah, talented comedian, freaking Grammy award winning. Oh, Netflix comedy special, totally on the level of South Park. Some inspiration. Oh yeah, comedy. That's a really funny fleecing people. Okay. Okay, what was I? Okay. Modern commoner. If you legitimately think that these people have your best interests in mind, you were sorely mistaken, my friend. You're sorely mistaken. Like, do you legitimately defend rug pulls like this? Are you this oblivious as to what's going on? Yeah, what's your opinion? Like, you to Mr. Beast. Jimmy, he does seem like a genuine guy, but I believe a lot of his efforts are somewhat misdirected in that we need to revise the current capitalist system as it stands instead of just trying to lift people out of squalor. Well, we can actually do that, but at the same time, dissolve the capitalist system as it exists and institute some social democratic reform. But I really like him as a person. It's just this philanthropy stuff. It's not really effective in the long term. Paul definitely could have redeemed himself before the crypto stuff. Okay, you join the rug pulls. You join. So you're probably one of the whales, and or one of the investors in this project. Oh, okay. DM me on Twitter. If you because okay, maybe you're saying that as a joke, but if you had legitimately any involvement in *CryptoZoo, then I'd like to hear it, and I'd like to get into the mind of why people invest in these projects. Anyway, let's continue with the content.
Was all about memes, but it turns out they secretly were tied to the project and created the joke himself in that project. Blasted, and Logan.
Look at that. He kind of like crossfades it with the highlight.
You invested in it, you got blasted.
But look at that pump and dump. That is absolutely insane. So I don't know if y'all can see my cursor, but here is where they made all the money, and here's where everybody that invested in Dink Doink is at now. So.
And Logan rightfully took a lot of heat for Dink Doink, which is why I was surprised when he seemingly immediately jumped into another crypto project. But Logan insisted *CryptoZoo, it was different. It wasn't his friend's project this time. It was his. And it wasn't even a project at all. It was a game that could earn you money.
I'm excited to launch a game.
You keep using and you just did it again. You keep using a word there. Game. You're not using like a project. It's a game.
It's a game. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
Now you might be wondering,
well, that makes Logan money and his friend. Yeah, makes exclusively that guy, his podcast co-host money, but fleeces his entire audience.
It's possible to earn money from a game. Well, let me try to break it down for you. This is how it was.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
It started by buying this crypto token called Zoo, which is their in-game currency, and you use Zoo coins to then buy egg NFTs, which you can then hatch to become animals. You then can breed those two animals to become hybrid animals. For example, if you breed a gorilla and a kitten, you get a gore kitty. And the more rare the NFT, the higher the daily yield of Zoo tokens that animal earns you every day. Theoretically,
oh, so I guess the gimmick is just throwing together the names of actually existing animals and just making them into one, and then for an image of them both, crudely photoshopping them together. Okay. Oh my god. Like zero effort into these scams. Like not much effort at all, actually. Yes, you are at the top. It's sold. They have Discords in advance to rug pull. Okay, I would like to talk with you sometime.
The Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out. Now, some of you of the Egyptian persuasion might notice some triangular qualities to this game description. But let's not be
wait, could you specifically recruit? I might have missed that.
They earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs, passive income. You can then burn your animal NFTs to release the Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out. Now, some of you of the Egyptian persuasion might notice some triangular quality. Invest it looks like almost like passive income. You can then burn your animal NFTs to release the Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out. Now, some of you of the Egyptian persuasion might notice some triangular qualities to this game description. But let's not be too quick to judge, because remember, there are a lot of NFT games.
I think this isn't a pyramid scheme in the strictest sense, because in order for it to actually be a pyramid scheme, you have to make commissions off of recruiting people and installing levels lower than you. But yeah, you can definitely assign like a triangular shape to this, but the mechanic in and of itself, I don't think is a pyramid scheme.
Play to earn. Now, Logan admits that there are other games like his, but what's going to really make his stand out is that other games have randomly generated assets. His game has handmade art.
It's cool to make a digital asset with unique, randomly generated characteristics. We handmade art for the past 6 months, bro.
Really consider photoshopping hand making? Like, okay.
Very specific notes, 10 different artists making art for our project.
Now, I'll admit, this all sounds very enticing. Handmade art, a fun game that can earn you money, and one of the biggest influencers in the world backing it. You might think, how can I lose? Which is why when people were told all you had to do to play was buy an egg, people spent millions. Just on the first launch between ETH and Zoo, people bought 2.5.
Like, I want, what happened to just, and obviously I have some reservations about this because, participating in the capitalist system, but, I just do it anyway. Whatever happened to just investing your money into a classic safe index fund? Whatever happened to that? The people if they're spending millions to legitimately think they're actually going to make money off of crypto, that's kind of foolish if you ask
$1 million
me.
worth of eggs in the first day. And did I mention the game hadn't even been launched yet? All people were buying was the marketing and
Wow.
the promises. And it wasn't just the NFTs they bought either. The Zoo token also skyrocketed in value, reaching a $2 billion market cap pre-game launch, right? The trading volume was in the tens of millions of dollars per day.
Again, look up Marx's idea of fictitious capital, which is capital specifically invested to remake value later when the asset matures in value, and then people buy it again to like realize its value after a specified period of time, and then buy it again to realize its value, and so forth and so forth. It's a really interesting concept, and nothing embodies that better than these crypto BS projects.
Which kind of is like Fortnite not coming out, but people trading tens of millions of dollars in V-Bucks every day. That's what this was like.
Ludicrous.
And I know it
Ludicrous.
sounds stupid to buy an influencer project, but you have to understand, people saw Logan as different.
Yeah, he
Logan-
takes advantage of that parasocial connection and then absolutely rug pulls people. He's a con artist.
An internet personality that I actually trusted, that I actually kind of believed in.
Obviously, when someone so influential releases something, everyone wants to be a part of it.
I sort of believe in this false fallacy that everyone else started believing that Logan Paul's a changed man.
I thought it was a safe place having a guy like that identified, like Logan Paul being the head of the project.
They had seen the story he had been telling everyone that he was this reformed influencer, right? That he was no longer a reckless clout goblin just in it for the money. They thought this time it's different. Logan Paul couldn't possibly scam us, right? But as the game got closer to release, the CryptoZoo team started releasing the first ever photos of these animals. And come to find out, this handmade art story wasn't really true. It was actually Adobe stock photos mashed together. This was the sort of first red flag of this project. And I made a video about it at the time, but it was kind of surface level, and something didn't add up beneath the surface. Something where I just couldn't shut this case down in my head. It was actually part of the announcement video that something they said.
I mean, with as low effort the thumbnails and as unprofessional as they are, talking about the thumbnails on my channel, I could make some of those pictures.
See if you can spot it.
We have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million just because we believe it's gonna work
On development.
Yeah.
That's the line that started this whole mystery. We spent $1 million on development. I couldn't get this out of my head. You know, is he lying? There's no way he expects people to believe he spent it on art. So wait, maybe he spent it on blockchain stuff, right? That's what I thought. But then I audited the smart contract, and it's not handmade at all. It's not even original. It's what's called a fork, a copy of some other code that exists out there. One of them is called Floki Shiv X, which launched before it. So where'd this $1 million go? I didn't understand. And Logan just kept repeating this claim.
We put hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. Personally, the whole team, $1 million plus.
Now, at the time I'm looking into this, there's a teaser going around for Hatch Day, which is the day you can hatch or egg NFTs. And it kind of symbolized the true launch of crypto. So I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is where they spent all the money on their game. Even their community manager, Ben Roth, promised people, after Hatch Day, things will take a turn for the 180. So I put Ben Roth on the board too. I needed to know all the characters in CryptoZoo, and I waited. And finally, on November 3rd, 2021, Ben Roth
Bust them all. Bust them all.
to be right. Things did take a turn on Hatch Day, only for the worse. Let's meet one of the victims, Helicopter Bob, to explain more.
My name is Rob. Helicopter Bob lost just under $7,000 with CryptoZoo.
And the first thing I asked Bob was about his animals, if he was making money with CryptoZoo, how much he made, and if the passive yield worked.
Oh, it never did from the beginning. It wasn't even written into the contract where it showed that you were actually yielding zoo, but there was nothing that was actually backing that up. There was no way to claim your yield. There never was.
Wait. Play that again. Did you hear that?
There was no way to claim your yield. There never was.
Hold on. The core mechanic of CryptoZoo, that you can make money with these stupid animals, it didn't even work on launch day. And still, to this day, a year later, still does not work, is what the investors are saying. Which, this is just crazy. People spent millions of dollars on these eggs. But it even gets worse because I kept talking to people and I discovered something. Because remember I told you you could buy eggs with those zoo coins? Well, apparently they also made it so you could buy them with Ethereum. And on the day of selling, about half of these purchases took place with Ethereum. Only it turns out for the people who spent ETH, not only did the yield part of it not work, did the NFTs not pay you, you also couldn't even hatch them.
So I acquired a bunch of eggs, and I actually want to play the game.
What? Like, okay, then how is this mechanic of reselling these NFTs back to yourself even going to work if you can't hatch the eggs? Maybe I just don't understand, but like it seems they can't have no possibility of making money, because even if they were to hypothetically actually do everything right, they still couldn't pull that out of the blockchain, out of the system, out of the game. I guess.
End up keeping him. I actually wanted to hatch him and see what I got out of him and play in this ecosystem that's been advertised or whatever, right? And then I can't do anything. It's not showing up on a website when I connect my wallet, etc., etc. So I'm a little baffled. I'm like, I must be doing something wrong. So I open up a support ticket. CryptoZoo and Ben Roth is actually the person answering my support ticket. Oh yeah, no, it's down for the moment, but we're working on it. Let me tell you, it's never been up. Wait, you can't even hatch? No, I'm telling you, it's just a picture. There's nothing I can do with it.
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
No value
You
whatsoever.
can ask
No
Cisco
value.
It's basically worth nothing whatsoever.
Wow. So on launch day, basically nothing worked. And a year later, that's still true. Now, after this was discovered, the price of Zoo fell 63% in just 24 hours. And at this point, Logan Paul basically goes silent on CryptoZoo. No more podcast mentions. No more saying he handmade art. CryptoZoo already got millions in investments, but Logan only speaks in the Discord twice over the next year to say, quote, sober, currently shaking my head, and yo. That was his contribution to this project. Meanwhile, his community manager, Ben Roth, was actively claiming that Logan was going to be marketing CryptoZoo any day now. He told people things like, Logan is an uncontrollable marketing guru. It's over when we launch. And when we have a product to market,
Oh, the
we
next
market it,
Steve
and marketing will
Jobs.
crush, I promise you. And this disconnect between Logan abandoning the project and his team on CryptoZoo saying that it was going to be any day now left investors feeling like they were being led on.
All you had to do was go on and tell us, look, there's something going on with this project. I'm abandoning it or whatever before people got more on the track. And promising, yeah, this is going to be great.
But he's not honest though, and you're only realizing that in hindsight.
When it came to actually doing anything,
like never trust any crypto project. Okay.
Get away from it.
Have some decency. Come out, talk to the people that invested initially, and invested along the way on all of the fake and false promises and all of the false hype, and be honest with people.
Surely Logan Paul, who's got this $1 billion hydration company and a WWE star, he's got enough money. He doesn't need to rug us lot.
And it's because of these false promises about marketing.
Well, no, if you're a capitalist and you've already accumulated swaths of money, you're gonna want more inevitably.
They sat and watched every Logan Paul episode trying to guess and decipher when this so-called marketing push would happen.
Yeah, any day now.
Fed into this with a lot of cryptic messages. Only a month after CryptoZoo's launch, actually, the hatch day, they started teasing this.
Not too much of this is out, but he's been working on a massive project.
And one of them will be the biggest thing I ever do. It'll be like my life and soul is put into this project, which is where most of my time these days goes.
Wow, surely this secret project that Logan put
You do a
his soul
pump
into
dump, yeah.
is CryptoZoo, right? You know, the project he launched a month ago. Well, his fans certainly thought so.
I'm like, holy cow, it makes so much sense. He's talking about CryptoZoo. Ben and the dudes are like putting smiley faces and egging the rest of the community. Like, this is it, guys. You know, this is what we've been working towards. I mean, this is it. This it's finally happening. Logan's gonna market the project, and they kept saying that Logan's gonna market the project, and it's gonna change everything.
So now imagine their surprise when another clip surfaces of Logan finally admitting this secret project isn't CryptoZoo at all. It's something else entirely.
I'll tell you about this project when we get closer to launch. This project line is going to be.
Is that the thing with the egg? Like this?
No.
This one's gonna be this will be great. We're done.
Oh man, can you imagine if you're one of these investors and Logan Paul's going pitching this new secret project and you're thinking it's CryptoZoo and someone's like, oh, is it that thing with the eggs? And he's like, no, definitely not. That was the last project.
The project I said I'd put my life and soul into. Oh no, it's not that one. It's actually a different one. Which and by the other project, I'm pretty sure he means another rug pull pump and dump.
This is the real project that I'm working on. Thankfully, people didn't just let this slide because as he went around making the rounds on his new project called 99 Originals, people were like, hey, didn't you just abandon your last one? Unsurprisingly, it's not his fault. It's the bad actors who ruined the project.
I see people giving
It was the other guy, and they let me on. And yeah, I don't know much about this stuff. I'm just the figurehead for it. And, you know, he can obviously, like, blame the blockchain experts and, you know, get himself a reduced penalty. But
explanations for why these haven't worked, and you know there's accusations out there. How does it make you feel when people are doing these takedown videos about your NFT projects previously?
It's sad because of what I just said. There's so much going on behind the scenes. Like, Doug, I'm not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
There's some actual out there, and it's not me. Like, I'm here to build.
And when we ask the actual guys, the guys you're pointing the finger at, they say, oh, they're not the bad guys. It's Logan and his accountant and the marketers and literally everybody else besides them. So somebody's lying here. Could it be all of them?
You see dollar signs. Like any burgeoning industry, there's money to be made. There's going to be both good and bad people.
There's a lot of cheap characters in the crypto space, knowing all of it. We had an issue with CryptoZoo, where our lead developer took the code that he made. Right?
I have, or at least I've downloaded this stock footage.
Switzerland actually.
Like, no insult to the internet detective, but, you know, just a point of reference. You know, I feel like by pointing that out, I'm on the same maybe YouTube wavelength as he is. But obviously, no, he's a skyrocketing YouTuber, and I'm a flailing YouTuber.
Spokes of my wheels.
Oh, well, that wasn't expected. There's a shady developer who held up Logan's code hostage in Switzerland. That's why this hasn't worked the whole time. He held it hostage for $1 million.
Apparently the project you quote unquote put your entire life and soul into was created, and the digital infrastructure was built by a shady developer, why would you be so reckless in this project you've dedicated your life and soul to? It doesn't make sense. Could you just be trying to deceive your audience deliberately? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't the mystery solved? Now, obviously, the first thing I wanted to do was hunt down this developer, who we'll be calling Z here, and find out the truth of what happened. Why did he steal Logan's code for $1 million? However,
Is he Russian?
when I did, he admitted he thought
I kid.
the reason for it was nothing like what Logan had said.
What? So he not only fleeced his audience, but the guy that actually built this digital infrastructure for him. That is Machiavellian as heck. That is so psychopathic and so scammy. It just transcends what we've seen.
So Z claims he wasn't blackmailing anyone. He had to hire a team to develop this whole thing, and he just wanted to be paid for the work they did. According to him, they negotiated a $1 million payday for this whole project. And from the second I heard that, I thought, oh, that's interesting, because Logan claims he spent $1 million on this whole thing. This developer saying he's owed $1 million on this project. Now, I didn't want to just take one person's word for it, so I later confirmed with another developer who worked for something called the Blockchain Center that he also hadn't been paid.
We've been paid nothing. I would have loved to have Zoo, but I don't have any.
So that's multiple sources working on the CryptoZoo team project who were not paid. Now, obviously, these are big accusations, which is why I wanted to confront Logan Paul on them. But unfortunately, we're not exactly on speaking terms.
Yeah.
Logan. And that's when I found out there was someone who might know just as much about this whole story.
And I will explain everything one day with my manager, who's like in charge now.
Logan Paul's manager, a guy named Jeff Levin. He might be just what we need to settle this whole thing. So I gave him a call.
Hello?
Hey, Jeff. Hey, sorry to bother you. This is.
I think this is the Dink Doink days, maybe?
The CryptoZoo hasn't paid.
Oh, apparently not.
And I'm just reaching out for comments before I do this story. I got your number from one of the development teams.
So this is a year's work, specifically on CryptoZoo.
I have no comment for it.
Okay, are you guys denying it? Or are you saying it's not true?
Just no comment. I don't think that the.
He bleeds the fifth.
Okay, because they're saying $1 million.
He wants a lawyer
in development for CryptoZoo, and Logan Paul said publicly that it has been paid.
No, but seriously, nothing wrong with getting a lawyer.
I mean, it's pretty serious accusation.
I mean, my point is they're just being evasive because they've so obviously scammed people.
And obviously, I don't want to just run a story. If you guys have a whole side to
I know,
your story here.
Your job as someone that is reporting news is to actually verify correct news.
Right, that's why I'm calling you.
I know, and that's legal grounds for that stuff. So I'm just telling you, legally,
Yes, the internet detective doves have legal grounds for this,
you have to report correct news with verifiable information.
which TID does.
Right, that's why I'm calling you. They've given me a lot of things, a lot of evidence.
Okay, well, okay. Just let you know, if you report anything on us, I appreciate your business. I appreciate you as a person, and I'm just telling you, from a legal standpoint, as we've been advised always, is if anybody reports fake news, that's where we won't,
Yeah, this call was a mess.
Oh, shit.
So Logan can go on podcasts and publicly accuse those developers of stealing his code. Not only that, he's the one who refuses to provide any evidence, but seems to sort of be implying that maybe we'll sue you if you tell this to anyone, which he then denies doing when I ask him if that's what he's doing.
told you I have no comment to it. Telling you once again, from a legal standpoint, you have to report truth. If you do not verify truths, then you're just allegations.
TID understands that.
Those then handle the way that we want to handle.
Wait, so you're saying you refuse to give me proof that the allegations aren't true, but if I report on the allegations, you guys might sue.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that.
I'm trying to read between the lines.
Well, that aged particularly well because Logan is threatening TID with a slap. So, yeah.
Don't read between the lines.
Okay.
Listen to the exact words that I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen to the exact words I'm saying. I have no comment on the situation.
Okay.
Your job legally is to report facts. If you don't report facts on the information you're given, it is illegal.
Yes, that was a real conversation with a real person. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I don't think it's a crime to say that multiple developers say they haven't been paid, and Logan's team refuses to provide any evidence or statements or wire transfers that they have, which, by the way, seems incredibly ironic given just how much Logan whines about not being paid by Floyd Mayweather.
Where's my money, bitch? Floyd never paid me for our fight. Who am I, the IRS?
Nope, which might be the CryptoZoo dev team. Now, in all seriousness, I do want to acknowledge something which
Ironic, isn't it?
bad a bit on the developers, because it turns out very few written contracts were actually done. So much of this were verbal deals. Oh, we'll take
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not a legal expert, obviously, so just defer to other people. But I'm pretty sure, like, to make it legally binding, you not only have to have an adult signature, but a notary to verify this contract. But
we'll give you
I don't know.
350K, we'll give you
It may depend on jurisdiction.
we'll give you whatever. But then when it was time to actually sign the deals, there's just always delays.
What kind of promises were made to you? Verbal promises, basically. So verbal promises, and then we follow up with
Which legally do not mean anything.
of his paper agreement. But that's when communication broke down.
This is where I think the dev guys screwed up and led to this whole situation of like, okay, we're just going to take the code private until you pay us for our work. And to be clear, I'm not justifying not paying someone for what they did. I'm just playing devil's advocate and saying this could have all been avoided by just getting every detail in writing. And I think it's just a good general lesson. But if you're thinking that that's the $1 million mystery solved, well, no, because this still doesn't make sense. Why not just pay the dev team what you publicly said you kind of already paid them? Why not pay for a game that now isn't launched and now investors are so angry about? Why not pay when you already made millions from minting the eggs on this game? Well, this is where things get even stranger, because right when I was ready to pin everything on Logan, and believe me, he is at fault, I was speaking to the Z developer, and I heard a name that I hadn't heard before.
I basically came in with Eddie, and Eddie promised me 5% tokens and $1 million. Never paid me.
Wait a second, who's Eddie? I thought that all of this was Logan Paul. I only put it together when the Blockchain Center guys also said a similar thing about their deal. They said they were promised 350K, and it was Ibanez. They say they had no communications with Logan. But we know they weren't talking about different people. They both dealt with the same guy. So the guy's name, I put it together, must be Eddie Ibanez. Turns out he was managing the developers. What's this random guy doing in Logan Paul's
Suspicious, isn't it?
project? And who is Eddie Ibanez?
Yes, hi, my name's Eddie Ibanez, the developer here at CryptoZoo.
This reporter says Eddie's entire story is fake.
Wait, what?
To continuously lie, lead people on, hype people up, to put more money in, all the while in the background. Things are going down, things are hitting the fan.
Yep.
Left us holding the
Absolutely.
Logan, you stole 40 million in tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy. Logan replies, oh, trust me, bro. I am that guy.
Yeah, that guy. That guy specifically who rug pulls and fleeces people out of their money and lies about the process of doing it. But that's the free show for today. And I look forward to